This is the ultimate carnivore diet beginner's guide. Everything you need to know to get started for the new year's. You may have stumbled across this video because you've seen the crazy anecdotal evidence on the carnivore diet. It has been taking the media and the nutritional space by storm, with thousands of people having crazy transformation stories and healing from all these terrible things. I mean, just read through some of our comment sections, maybe even this one below, and look at all the lives that this diet has changed. However, with massive popularity also comes massive misunderstanding. We have people like Jordan Peterson who are seeing amazing results on just eating meat, salt, and drinking water. And then we have people like Paul Saladino, who has up to 300 grams of carbs a day as he introduced fruit into his carnivore diet. So who do we know who to trust? Well, this video is for you. I get hundreds of messages and emails where people ask for help on the carnivore diet. And I thought it would be helpful for you if I compiled all my answers into one video, outlining the tips and tricks for beginners, common pitfalls I see beginners fall into, which I did too, and everything you need to know to get started. And stick around to the end for some bonus tips and tricks that me and a few of my other carnivore friends like to do. Before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button and hit subscribe, as it would really help get this message out there to a wider audience and help the carnivore movement become mainstream. Sweet, now that you've done that, well, what actually is the carnivore diet and what are the rules you have to stick to ensure you get all the benefits? Well, in short, the carnivore diet is an elimination diet. It is the ultimate elimination diet. You may have heard of the keto diet or a ketogenic way of eating, and the carnivore diet is actually a form of this. However, it is more ancestrally appropriate. It is based on an ancestral way of eating prior to the agricultural revolution 10,000 years ago to help heal from a lot of these modern day illnesses we see, and everyone is thriving on it. Whether you are suffering really bad from autoimmune conditions or just want to optimize your health, this diet is for everyone. Okay, well, what do you define as carnivore safe and what am I allowed to eat on the diet? Well, it is animal produce only, and I have some hard rules that most carnivores would agree with. If you do eat this stuff, it could seriously sacrifice a lot of your progress. So first of all, we have no plant matter whatsoever. This includes carbohydrates. This means no fruit, no vegetables, no grains, no pizzas, nothing like that. This is the one thing that you have to be strict to, and the others can be a little bit more lenient, but if you are not strict to this, it can seriously ruin your progress. Most of your calories should be coming from fat and protein. Around 70 to 80% fat and 20 to 30% protein is the general rule of thumb for most carnivores. Okay, next up, no sugar drinks. So that's things that don't actually have sugar in it, but have chemicals that sort of replace that same craving that you desire. And the reason for this is it can actually still spike your insulin and it activates your ghrelin hormone, which makes you more hungry. Now, a lot of people in the comments may hate me for this one, but my rule is no coffee. However, a lot of carnivores do still drink coffee. A lot of them have black coffee as there's no sugar and it's just pure coffee. However, coffee does come from a plant, so I wouldn't, but I know a lot of people do, so you can still stick to this if you want. Now, spices / seasoning, well, you can have unlimited salt, but nothing else. Now, you may think this is so bland, and once you detox from all the other flavors and all the other little seasonings you put on your steak, you will actually really start to like salt. And that includes things like pepper, none of those, because those have oxalates in them, which are detrimental to your body. And next one, no alcohol. If you are going to have alcohol though, wine is probably your best bet. Now, you don't have to stick to all of these rules. This is just my general rule of thumb if you really want to improve your health. However, you can break stuff like have a bit of coffee, but yeah, it really depends on your health goals and how bad you really want to see improvements. Okay, now that we've addressed the stuff we should not be eating, let's talk about the good stuff. The stuff that we should be eating. Okay, so the general rule of thumb is animal produce only, so anything that comes from an animal. This can include beef, pork, chicken, fish, eggs, and dairy, but I'll get into that in a second. So some people go as strict as eating ruminant animals only. This means animals that roam in nature, such as only beef and lamb. This is what Jordan Peterson does. While some people have more variety, including eggs, fish, dairy, and chicken. Now, I can't put a correct yes or no answer for you for this. It really depends on your health goals and what you're trying to achieve. Generally, the more strict is better, being just beef and lamb, as the latter foods have a higher omega-6 content, which can be quite pro-inflammatory. So if you have a lot of serious autoimmune conditions, I would just go for beef and lamb only. Well, you may be thinking, what about all the nutrients? You need a balanced diet. Are you not nutrient deficient? I thought the same thing too when I first found the carnivore diet. But to surprise, I was shown that meat has every single nutrient in it. No, it doesn't just have protein and iron, it has everything you need to thrive. So to sum that up, if you want to go really safe, try 30 days of just beef and lamb, and then you can slowly introduce other things like cheese, fish, pork, or chicken. But yeah, if you're really worried, just try only beef or lamb. A lot of people ask me, should I be having grain-fed meat or grass-fed meat? Well, for those who don't know, grain-fed means that the cow or the animal that you were eating has been fed grains for most of its lives, which obviously is not ideal as it is not their species appropriate diet, and grass-fed they have been fed their natural diet, consisting of grass. So although grass-fed is more expensive, you will actually see a lot more benefits if you go grass-fed. However, grain-fed will still get you so many benefits in compared to a normal diet. So yeah, it really depends on your budget and what your goals are, but I'd really go for grass-fed if you can afford it. And to help you guys out, we actually have a special code at an online butcher called Mckenzies Meats. The code is CARNIVOREVITALITY, and you can actually get $25 off your first order with no minimum spend. They ship to all of Sydney and Canberra in Australia, and they actually do ship overseas to you Americans, but only the stuff that is either capsulized or dry. So they have dried ribeyes, dried steaks, they also have liver capsules. So yeah, if you guys are interested, definitely check them out. Eating nose to tail. So a lot of carnivores don't actually eat the organs such as liver, brains, heart. However, they are quite nutrient dense, so you can feel free to muck around, see how you feel. Personally, I have liver around once a week, only around 100 to 200 grams, because that's really all you need to get all the benefits. And if you do have liver quite frequently, even every day, you can get vitamin A poisoning. But yeah, if you're keen on having organs, stick around to the end, and I'm going to show you a quick tip to help get down liver. Alright, so how do we cook the food? Well, you want to be using animal fats only, so you want to be cooking your food in butter, beef tallow, lard, ghee, or any of that stuff. Just something that comes from an animal product and that has fat in it is ideal. And you do not want to overcook your steak. You want to keep it a little bit rare on the inside because you actually do get more nutrients. A lot of the water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin B and vitamin C, get denatured in very hot temperatures. So yeah, you don't have to eat it raw like my friend Joey Schwartz, but try not to overcook it to the death. Now onto the pitfalls that not only I struggled with, but it kills me to see so many of you guys struggling with at the start. Calorie restricting. Please do not restrict your calories and eat till you are full. The beautiful thing about this diet, which is unique to any other diet, is you can eat as much as you want and eat till you're full and you will not get fat. Now, a lot of people who really want to lose weight get scared when I tell them this because in the past, they've overeaten and they've gained a lot of weight, but this is just not the case for this diet. This diet is a natural diet that we used to eat in nature, and in nature, is anyone fat? Well, if we have a look at the caveman paintings, there was never any fat people, and our bodies are naturally designed to not be fat. They were all lean, shredded, and jacked. So trust me, do not worry about gaining weight. When you cut out all the junk, your satiety signals can take care of your binge eating tendencies, and it can actually tell you when to stop. And trust me, I was the biggest binge eater. But have you ever binge eaten a steak? Personally, I can't. Things in modern day diets increase our ghrelin hormone, which actually makes us more hungry, and these things are known as vegetable oils or seed oils. This brings me on to the next pitfall. Please do not cook your food in any seed oils or vegetable oils. This will seriously damage your health and you do not want to be doing this. This includes canola oil, rapeseed oil, palm oil, sunflower oil, and more. And some people still have olive oil and avocado oil, which it's not as toxic as those seed oils, but it's not as ideal as animal fat. Pitfall number 3, and this is the biggest one. There is something called the carnivore flu, and when you first start the carnivore diet, you can actually feel pretty terrible. This is arguably the worst part about the carnivore diet. Your body needs to adapt. Now, this adaptation phase can be really brutal and leave many beginners quitting. And it really pains me seeing these people quit when they're so close to reaping all the benefits. But don't be disheartened, it makes sense. You've been eating crappy foods for so long and now your body is getting withdrawals just like any other drug. It takes some time for your body to heal. While some people may start to notice benefits straight away, for most it can take around 1 to 3 weeks for their body to fully adapt. In this phase, I would encourage to increase your fat intake as your body is entering ketosis, where it is using fat as its main source of energy. Now, I usually don't recommend this, but if you really feel like cheating, you can have some sausages or bacon or some dairy, because that is way better than having, ice cream or heaps of carbs to help you get through this phase. I think I actually did it. I think I had, quite a fair few amount of sausages to satisfy those cravings. But yeah, most beginners that I see quit and they say, oh, the carnivore diet doesn't work, I felt terrible, but you got to give it some time. I mean, you've been eating crap food for 18, 20, 40, 60, 80 years. It's not going to be a one-day switch. You've got to have some patience and really push through. Now, here are some of my top bonus tips plus tricks for not only beginners, but for advanced people on the carnivore diet. So loose stools is a very common thing you may experience on the carnivore diet your first few weeks into it. I think for the first few weeks I had pretty bad explosive diarrhea, and it wasn't very nice, but I have one tip that actually really helped minimize this. And this doesn't just apply for beginners. Some advanced people may still be experiencing these issues, however, usually it goes. So the tip is, do not drink water 30 minutes prior to, during, or 30 minutes after your meal. I don't really understand the science behind this, but it just seems to really work for me and a lot of my patients that I speak to. Now for my second tip, a lot of people find it very hard to eat the fat off the steak and it can take forever to chew. So what me and my best mate Ed do, we actually cut the fat off the steak and we chop it up into little crisps. And we cook the fat of the steak and the protein of the steak separately. And it's actually a really good idea to help you able to get your fat down without having to chew on it forever. So yeah, we usually like to get these fat crisps really nice and brown, cut them up into small pieces. So even if you don't want to chew it, you can just swallow it to help you get those vitamins in the fat and the energy. My third tip would be to do with cooking. So I actually saw this on, I think, Facebook or Reddit. Usually after you cook your steak, there's actually quite a bit of fat in the pan, or other known as tallow, and it sort of just sits there, and most people would clean the pan and put it away and then have to get the butter out and re-put it back in. But a thing that I've been doing recently, and a lot of my mates have been doing, is actually just not cleaning the pan and letting it sit there, and then once it goes hard, put it back in the fridge. You see, this is a great way to save money on things like butter and just even time cleaning up and doing all that stuff. So yeah, you just put it back in the fridge, and the next time you want to eat, you put it back in the stove, let it warm up, and it turns back into those nice liquid fats. Okay, another one, this one is maybe for the more advanced people who want to have liver or organs more frequently to reap the benefits. For me, liver doesn't really taste amazing, but I feel amazing after it. So what I've been doing is cutting up the liver into very, very small pieces and then putting it into my mouth and swallowing it without even chewing it. This is like a cheat code to not taste the arguably not amazing taste of liver. So yeah, I really hope this one helps you. My last tip would be for those who are a bit more extreme and want to get all the benefits of the carnivore diet and all of the bioavailable water-soluble vitamins. Now, this would be eating everything raw. And I know your brain is telling you right now, oh, you can't eat raw, you're going to get salmonella, it's so bad for you. What about the pesticides and all this stuff? But you actually can eat raw meat. See, my good friend Joe Schwartz actually only eats raw meat, and he said his carnivore diet experience has been taken to a whole new level. So yeah, I'm not too sure about chicken, but I'm sure that with fish, meat, beef, lamb, you can eat raw, especially eggs. I love having raw egg yolks. I use egg yolks as my ADHD supplement, as it really helps me focus when I just smash down maybe 5 or 6 egg yolks. I think it's to do with the saturated fat just going straight to my brain and just fueling it, and I feel amazing. At the end of the day, your mindset is so key. If your mindset is wrong, then you can just forget about everything. There's only so many tips and tricks I can tell you, but you just have to stick it through. It takes time for your body to heal. Most likely you've been eating a standard American or Australian diet for so many years, full of processed and refined grains and seed oils which are highly inflammatory. So it's gonna take some time to heal, and you can't expect it to be an overnight fix. So please trust your body, and trust that by giving it the species appropriate fuel source that your body can heal. And please, you owe it to yourself to stick it through for just 30 days, as I guarantee that there is brighter days. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you give this carnivore diet a shot, or if you're a little bit more advanced, I really hope that some of the information in this video could help you. Before I end the video, I just wanted to let you know that we do offer consultation services. We help so many people start their carnivore diet journey, answer all the most common questions, and things that I could not cover in this video. We are the cheapest in the market, so if that is something that you would like to consider, I will leave a link to our consultation services below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. Check out this video here.